All right, so now we are going to divide and then we're going to use multiplication to check our answers. So I am going to do numbers 1 and 2 on page 95. And again, 624 divided by 8. So I start by saying, how many times can 8 go into 6? It cannot. So I choose to put a little X. You're free to put a 0, but you just want something there to tell you don't put a number up there. So now I say, how many times can 8 go into 62? Well, it goes in 7 times without going over. Okay, so 7 times 8 is 56. Bring down my answer, and now I have to subtract. Now, your basic subtraction rules still apply, you guys. So I can't take 6 from 2. I have to borrow. So I borrow from my 6, becomes a 5, 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 5 minus 5 is 0. Because 6 is less than 8, I know I'm good, and I can bring down my 4. So now I ask myself, how many times does does 8 go into 64? Well, that one's good. It goes in nice and even because 8 times 8 is 64. Write my 64 down here, subtract, and get 0. Now, I do not have a remainder, so my final answer is 78, but I want to check this. So I am going to use multiplication to check my answer. Therefore, I'm going to take my answer of 78. I'm going to multiply it by my divisor, which is 8. And I should get 624 as my answer. So 8 times 8, 64. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus 6 is 62. So my answer is correct of 78 because I checked it using multiplication. Okay, now let's look at number 2. Woo, sorry, throwing things here. Number 2 on page 95. 3,220 divided by 4. So how many times can 4 go into 3? It cannot because 3 is less than 4. How many times can 4 go into 32? Well, it can go in 8 times without going over. So 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract and get 0. 0 is less than 4, so I know that I'm good. So I can bring down my 2. Now, how many times does 4 go into 2? It cannot, but remember, we're not going to freak out. There's no place to move over, so we just say it goes in 0 times. Put our 0 at the top. 0 times 4 is 0. Bring it down and subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 is less than 4, so I know I'm good, and I can bring down my 0. Now, 4 goes into 20 and even 5 times. 5 times 4, 20. Bring it down, subtract. I have no remainder. But I do need to check my work. So I'm going to take my answer, 805, and multiply it by this 4. I should get 3,220. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. 4 times 8 is 32. It matches, which means my answer to my division problem is correct.